Hi, professor in class. Just decided to do a little presentation for this applying grid design discussion thread. So, grids are super important, especially as developers, because everything we do has to be in, pixels, percentages, ems if you want to get really crazy. But as far as laying out goes, grids are like one of our best friends aside from the software that we use. So this is Adobe Illustrator opened up. This is just a basic web page template. It's like 1360 something by like 770, something like that. But in Illustrator, you'll notice that you come up here to view, then you can come down here and click show grid, and you end up with every little square section is a 10 pixel. The way I have it set up is that it's 10 pixels for every square. So you can just count across. But then what you can also do is then come down here to where it says snap to grid, and you click on that. And now, so if I were to come over here, take a rectangle, tap that, and let's do something like 200 by 100. So now we have this little rectangle here, and now if I tap things along, I usually hold the shift to do it, but if you notice, as it taps across, it wants to stay aligned to the grid. It's not always 100% perfect. Obviously, if you're working with an odd size or something like that, it's not going to necessarily line up on one side or the other. But this is kind of a really cool way to end up doing like real quick layouts. And then you can like alt click and then drop down, hold your shift so that it stays aligned. Alt click, shift down, and you can end up coming up with a grid system really, really quick. The reason why this type of thing is important nowadays is if you were to Google search, what exactly did I search here? I think I searched grid portfolios, grid designs and online portfolios. So if you notice, this is a pretty big deal these days. I think a lot of it has to do with because as much detail and effort that goes into the individual designs that people are trying to showcase in their portfolio, that they want to keep their layouts as simple as possible so that it doesn't take away from their work. And I totally get it. I'm going to be going through with a similar sort of concept, but yeah, so grids are important, obviously pretty popular these days. I mean, we can scroll all the way down here and then it wants to reset and show even more. But all of this is basically initially started as a grid. And easiest way to go about doing that is that you get into Illustrator, do your snap to grid. You can even snap to pixel, snap to point. There's all these different settings that can help you lay out something quick, easy, and just see, even whenever you scale it up, it wants to stick to the grid like that. So just wanted to show you guys little tips, some of the things I use. So yeah, see you in the thread.